Some people think it's looking dry out there in game, but I'm here to tell you that it's nowhere near that way, especially with this banger right around the corner from coming out in just over a month. That being Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I am mad excited for this game, and what's crazy is I'm not even that big of an Indiana Jones fan.
Man, this is some bullshit!
I just enjoy a good game, and I know Machine Games is good at making a good game. From obviously them working on games like Wolfenstein, and then Todd Howard with the vision to want to have this game for several years now. This isn't something that they just thought of and decided to just do on a whim, or something that they were just, asked to do by Microsoft. This is something that was a passion project from one of the people under Bethesda Softworks, which is Todd Howard himself.
This is gonna be good. You know how long I've been waiting for this?
Himself. He was asked to help direct this game, and him and Machine Games got to work, and I think this thing looks masterful. I'm really interested in how they're gonna be able to play off that first-person feel as a character that you usually seen on a screen, right? So that's the biggest hurdle, in my opinion, for this game, is how they're gonna make that feel. Based off what I've seen, I'm really excited for this game, and I can't wait for December 8th to roll its head around over here so I can play the hell out of this, thanks to Game Pass. So shout out to Jez Corden for coming out with this article on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Seems like he thinks it's a fantastic game. I'm going to go on ahead and just kind of cut to the chase on some of these parts of the article. Seeing that I read it already, I might as well just kind of give you guys what I kind of thought was really interesting with this article. So let's kind of hop around and see what he had to say in this short piece. So I particularly only care about the game. So it says the game's intro is sets the scene with the style and confidence as Indiana Jones wakes up in the ironic Marshall College to the sounds of a break-in. Assuming it to be wayward students, Indiana happens upon a leather-clad 8-foot titan of a man who has taken to smashing up an exhibit of some of the college's displayed artifacts. So that's how the game starts, which is pretty cool. Let's kind of hop a little bit further. It says, all right, so after receiving a stiff beat down, Indiana Jones teams up with Marcus Brody just to discover that mysterious colossal stole from ancient Egypt depicting a cat. In the mess left behind, Indiana discovers the evidence that the Vatican Archaeological Commission might somehow be involved. So that's where things get kind of fishy and weird, and Indiana wants to jump into it. So let me hop down here. Jez goes on to say, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is an incredibly interactive game. Machine Games seem to be acutely aware of the expectations some might have for a studio known for its blistering pace, violence of Wolfenstein, The New Order, while also being careful to stay faithful to what Indiana Jones represents. He's not a super soldier, but ultimately he's an archaeologist. The game revolves heavily around investigation, but doesn't mean that it needs to lack interactivity. So I know that he said a little bit later that the game has some puzzles, so you can see that right here. The puzzles are pretty in depth. He talks about one of the puzzles actually taking him about 15 minutes to figure it out. And he also says right here, so indeed completionists are looking at around 30 hours for a single playthrough, uncovering every secret the game has to offer. and there are tons. So there's a good amount of time to be able to play this game if you're looking to absolutely complete it. But I'm kind of curious what it just takes, like how long it takes to get from one end to the other. All right. So, I mean, I'm still kind of curious about that, but he said a single playthrough for completionists is about 30 hours. So I'm guessing it's probably about 10 to 15 hours if you just want to just kind of run through it in a story, but that's just my assumption. Here's where he is talking about it took about 15 minutes for him to get one of the lock boxes. He said there's plenty of other NPCs to talk to as well, and it reminds him of LA Noire because, you know, the game has its combat, but the combat's tight. But it really revolves a lot around the story and investigating and stuff like that. So I could totally see where he's kind of pulling from LA Noire with that. Let's kind of go down and see what he also says, because like here's something that a lot of people are going to be comparing it to, right? So Tomb Raider. Which is hilarious because Tomb Raider was compared to Indiana Jones with its inception, right? But now we're kind of going the opposite direction with some of it. Right here, he puts, or actually, let's go a paragraph above it. He says, beyond the main hub type of small open world areas, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is connected with linear sections that can foster those more scripted, epic set piece moments. The Great Pyramid areas was more open with archaeological dig sites, Nazi military outposts, and village hubs dotted around for exploration. Traverse these areas isn't always safe to do. However, but much like in Raiders and The Last Crusade, Indiana can acquire disguises to slip in between the cracks. Even in the game connective cinematic linear area were quite wide with opportunities for stealthy play and creative combat highs, which we'll get into more. Okay, so he'll get into more of that here in just a little bit, but as I was just saying, like the whole Tomb Raider thing, right? He says if Tomb Raider is Indiana Jones as action adventure, the Great Circle is Indiana Jones as an immersive action simulator. All right, so it says video games don't always translate well to film, and films don't always translate well to video games. For Indiana Jones, you could argue this particularly true. Indiana Jones is not Super Soldier. He's not BJ from Machine Games, a Wolfenstein series. He's also not carrying an arsenal of different types of guns. And he doesn't have superhuman powers nor supernatural abilities. He's just a dude with a history book or two memorized, accompanied by a bullwhip and a 1930s revolver. So primitive. Kind of. Not so much for the 30s, I guess. But anyways, on paper, you'd think this wouldn't make for a game that features dynamic, varied gameplay on par with modern expectations. But against all odds, Machine Games pulls it off. So just says the game, he seems to be very, very excited about the game. I'm excited for fisticuffs. I'm specifically excited for fisticuffs and cracking that whip on some mugs. I think that sounds amazing. You can see the whip actually right here in this picture. Just to go on ahead and continue on, he says, at its core, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a stealth game, I would say, but it borrows from the dynamicism of immersive sim titles to give you a wealth of environment options for how to approach combat and enemy groups. Your typical stealth game staples like throw objects to lure enemies take center stage, but beyond the basic, Indiana Jones rewards players creatively for utilizing the environment to their advantage. Each area is crammed with objects, items, pitfalls, traps, and other potential solutions to overcoming the various facets that stand between you and your prize. And I felt like I'd barely scratched the surface of the creative combat canvas unfolding before me as I played. So there's a lot of different ways of playing this game, and I think that sounds pretty dang dope. I'm excited for this game. I mean, there's a lot going on here, but it's weird how one game will excite you for another game, even though it might be totally different. But I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but I'm excited to see how Perfect Dark ends up looking, because this looks beautiful. Like, the game looks, I'm not gonna say completely photorealistic. I mean, for Indiana Jones's person, I think he looks photorealistic. I don't think all the enemies particularly look photorealistic, but they look damn good. Like, I'm not complaining about any of them. But anyways, this is kind of what he had to say. You should check out Jez's article, though, here on Windows Central if you want more of a if you want to just read the whole dang article and see exactly what he said about it. But I'm just here trying to kind of giving you the thoughts of what I was excited about within the article itself. Like I said, the game's about 30 hours if you're looking to completely complete it. Like I said earlier, it is coming to PS5, but it's also coming to Steam if you're on PC. But it is going to be day one in Game Pass, and also day one to purchase on Xbox and Steam. But yeah, this is your boy HamSolo05 Gaming, just coming at you, letting you know that I am crazy excited for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I think this game looks good. You can just see the sweat on bro's face right there. Like I said, not all of the enemies look this dang good, but like, you can really tell the ones that they hyper focused on look fantastic. You can see, you know, like the pores on their face, the sweat as it's kind of beating down the front of his thick ass forehead. Yeah, it just looks like it's gonna be fun and quite interactive. But anyways, thanks for checking out the video. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button, share this thing out, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. This is your boy Ham Solo signing out for TSWS Gaming, letting you know, keep it game or keep it moving. Deuces.